Party. Okay. Umekubali. Cool. All right, so we've started. Just count 10 seconds and then you can start.
Okay, 10 seconds. Great. Salam, and good morning, everyone. It's 6:35 a.m. currently in Addis Ababa, and as well as the East African time zone. So you can imagine it's very early, but we're gathered here for a very novel work, I would say, which is, of course, a podcast series for TEACON, the Toastmasters East African Conference. This year, the TEACON is happening at the Pride of Africa, which is Kenya, of course, in the beautiful city of Mombasa from the 9th to 11th of May at the Pride and Paradise Hotel. I am thrilled to bring together two distinguished Toastmasters, our esteemed female DTMs from Ethiopia to share their insights and experiences. Together, we'll explore how Toastmasters extend beyond club meeting, shaping careers, and opening doors to new opportunities. Our theme for this morning is empowering voices and empowering women, celebrating both the achievement of these exceptional leaders and the broader impact of Toastmasters in Ethiopia. Throughout our discussion, we will assess the tangible benefit of TCON for the first time attendees, from networking to and socializing to participating in contests and the meetings and workshops. So we will see this journey of empowerment and inspiration, highlighting the unique contribution of Ethiopian women in Toastmasters community. Before we begin, of course, I would like to indicate that we have 45 minutes for each panelist, and we'll have two questions, and the allocated time for each question or the panelist would be 10 minutes. So I would like to say welcome once again for Emenet Ephrem as DTM Emenet Ephrem as well as DTM Ethiopies. And we have Kandi Mwabila from Kenya as well. So without further ado, in the interest of time, I will delve into my first question, and my first question goes to Emenet. So my question that I prepared is, as a female leader in Toastmasters community, of course, what strategies um, have you found effective in overcoming challenges and breaking through barriers, both within the Toastmasters community as well as in your broader professional life? The first question goes to you, Imnet. Hello? Imnet? It's mute, I think. Let's see. I think there is some challenge. Amnet, you can hear me, no? Am I audible? How does that work?
Ioannis, you're audible. We cannot hear Emenet.
Okay. I think it's muted, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Amnet is trying to join.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you
perfect.
can hear me now, right?
Absolutely. Please proceed.
Yeah. So I'll start over, I guess. Thank you for having me. Happy International Women's Month, not just only day. As you know, I've been serving at different levels, starting from area director, club officer, division director, and giving support. So the biggest lesson I learned on my leadership days was the delegation. So at first, I wanted to do everything. No one couldn't do anything better than me. So I learned the hard way, the power of delegation. So with managing or supporting many activities, many individuals, you wouldn't have the time to do everything on your own. And also when working with a team, it is a collaborative effect. The results you get is through teamwork. So I learned that when you delegate to someone, you are trusting them with something important. You are believing in them that they can do anything you give them. And also they're part of that team because of a reason. They might not necessarily have the capacity all the time, but it's one way of giving them a chance to work on themselves and develop that skill. So the first lesson was delegation. Then prioritization, I would say. You know, I want to do many things. I wish I can copy myself and, engage in many things, but that's not possible. So prioritization is very important. Before I used to go to every event, I used to do everything, and I wouldn't mind staying up all night to do things, whether they are important or not important. Even if they are not urgent, I'll just do them. So through the journey of Toastmasters, I learned how to prioritize. Not everything has to be done now, today, and not everything is that important. Considering the time, the energy I have, I would really have to prioritize. Maybe the last thing would be not being afraid to start over. So in my Toastmasters journey, I was almost done with the previous curriculum, the ACB, ACG curriculum. But when the pathways started, I had to start over as well. So not being afraid to start over is an important lesson. With every leadership position, that also applies. Sometimes the things you did might not be the right thing, or they might not give you the result you are expecting. Sometimes you will have to start over. So don't be afraid to start over and just start over. Back to you.
Thank you, Emenet, for that incredible response, I would say. Of course, you've indicated three lessons, of course, in a nutshell, which is, of course, reiterating the first is the power of delegation, the prioritization, as well as, not being afraid of starting over from scratch. This is something that actually I'm witnessing. I wish Toastmaster or DTM Bethlehem Nasibu, she was supposed to be our third speaker, but unfortunately she couldn't. But this is to indicate that even after becoming DTM, not only her actually, but also DTM, he is very famous in Ethiopia, not only in Ethiopia, but for those of individuals listening in the Kenya Toastmasters as well, community as well. So they started another journey, afterwards as well, after completing one DTM, which is like two pathways, so a different. So I guess it kind of resonates with me as well, and then a lot of our audiences as well, not being afraid to start over. So there's this learning process could just go afterwards. There's no limit, even after you finish bachelor, it's going to be master's. Even after you finish master's, PhD, it goes that way as well. And the power of delegation, this absolutely touches me, honestly. I am that kind of person who always think that people are not good enough. I know I shouldn't say that. Not good enough in a sense of like, I have this acidic manner, and I do things in a perfection manner. So when people say like, oh, just delegate, I'm like, how am I supposed to delegate? Would they do it like as I wanted to? So I'd rather just take it on myself and die in the process, because you cannot do all. And I'm so glad Toastmaster in a way taught you that, Emenet, and then of course prioritization as well. When you talk about prioritization, what it reminded me, of course, when you mentioned, I just wanted to copy paste myself, this movie called Watchman. I'm not sure if you watched it, but in the Watchman, there's this individual or this superhero called Dr. Manhattan. That Dr. Manhattan, he can duplicate himself like, 10 or millions of them. So yeah, I just wanted to do sometimes. And this comes to not delegating. Of course, if you delegate properly, then you wouldn't be overwhelmed and you wouldn't be anxious as well. And I'm glad this absolutely resonates with me, and also with a lot of Toastmaster community. And I'm glad it taught you this one as well. Maybe we have a couple of minutes, of course, before we finalize DTM Emenet. May I ask for how long you're going to participate, or how many times have you participated at the TEACON?
I think I have participated 4 times. The first one was in Nairobi, I think. It has been a long time, but it was my first experience, and the last one was last year. So yeah, some of them online, some of them in person.
Exactly. I know the some of them online. I think that came due to the COVID times. I'm sure
Exactly.
it wasn't as fun as the in-person one.
Not at
Exactly.
all.
We were together in Dar es Salaam as well, so I'm sure it was really exhilarating. All
Yeah.
right. So with this, I would like to go with my second speaker, of course, none other than, as I was mentioning, DTM Ethiopia. So DTM Ethiopians, I hope you're ready. The first question goes to you as well. As a distinguished Toastmaster, you've undoubtedly honed your public speaking and leadership skill. How have these skills translated into tangible success in your professional endeavors? Once more, you have 10 minutes. Over to you, DTM Ethiopians.
All right, thank you very much, Jonas, and good morning, East Africa. It is indeed very morning, very early, but it's always a great opportunity when you're connecting with friends from all across the East African region. So good morning to you all. I'm very happy to be here and to reflect on this question. For me, I think it's a very unique experience in that I actually discovered my professional career in Toastmasters. When I was first introduced to the Toastmaster platform, I was just this young university student who at times liked to speak, maybe speak a lot, maybe speak too much. But I loved to connect with people. I loved sharing ideas. And at the time, I had been studying marketing management in university. And then, honestly speaking, I don't know who it was that brought me to the Toastmaster club for the first time. But so here I was joining this weird setup with like around 30 to 40 people in a large room, sitting around a U-shaped table, getting up, speaking, and then having everybody's attention, sharing ideas in such I don't even know how to explain, in a powerful, funny, memorable way. So that was my first time going. And then the second time I went, I got really lucky and I saw Toastmaster Yosef Fantu. I think he's well known within the East African Toastmaster community as well. And he was delivering a speech about his wife. I'll never forget it. This was, I think, around 8 or 9 years ago. And he was delivering a speech about his wife. And it was just the most heartfelt, the most magical speech I had ever seen live in person. Because up until that point, it was just my teachers who were speaking in front of me. You know, I've never seen a speech like that. And it just stuck with me. And then the power of connection, the power of persuasion, the power of communication. That's where I discovered what the power of communication is in Toastmasters. And so obviously I joined, and it wasn't easy at the time because I was still young and I couldn't afford the payment, but my sister agreed to pay for me at the time because I was a student. And then after joining, you know, it was just one thing after the other that allowed me to kind of unpack the skills within myself. So it was true. I really love to speak in front of people, to speak in a way that creates connection between myself and the people I'm speaking to. And then it helped me also delve into my writing skills as well. You know, putting my thoughts on the page, writing in a way that really helps me get my message across to different audiences, really tell my messages and my stories well. And, you know, these combinations of learning how to write well, how to speak well, and generally just all the different elements of what makes a great communicator is how I kind of geared my career towards communication from marketing. So, you know, marketing is more broader in that sense. It's, you know, to do with branding and, you know, advertisement and all of that stuff. But what I actually found my skill in was more of a niche in communication. And Toastmasters is where I found that. And so after like a few years working in marketing, I found a job in communications, and, you know, I found myself thriving in that. So I've built my career now in the development sector in communications specifically. So honestly speaking, I don't know if I would have discovered that, or let's say if I would have found the platform for that so early on in my career and in my life, actually, honestly speaking. I'm very grateful for that. And after that, when it comes to professional career or our professional lives in general, you know, it's not just about your technical capabilities, it's also about who you know and the resources that are available to you. And that's another thing that Toastmaster gave me. Outside of my university campus life, I didn't have the opportunity to really go out and meet new people or go to a place where I would meet so many different amazing people in one location. And Toastmaster gave me that. The platform afforded me the opportunity for me to show what I have, tell people who I am to an audience, to like a very diverse audience of students, professionals. I remember at some point our club had people with age ranges from like 18 to 65. It was amazing. We had engineers, architects, lawyers, marketers, communicators, like so many different people in the room. And the fact that I was able to network with these people, to connect with these people, opened up so many professional doors for me. And it was actually through their recommendations that I even got really good job opportunities, because, you know, it's one thing we can't deny, good jobs are usually found through recommendations. So that's another way. And then the third way is also through resources. Unfortunately, resources are not as readily available, especially when you're young and you're not as well connected as you should be, or maybe not as tech savvy as you could be. And so having those people around me even afforded me the opportunity to access or tap into resources that I know other people wouldn't get very easily. And that's also something I really do not take for granted. So when I talk about resources, I'm not just talking about like the human resource, meaning the network, but actual tangible resource for my professional career. You know, books to read, articles to refer to, these kinds of technical documents that I would need for my profession, tools, systems that I would need for my profession. I ended up discovering them sometimes just even over a simple chat with a Toastmaster member, Toastmaster friend. So in terms of how Toastmasters has impacted my career, it has single-handedly had the biggest impact in my career. And that's why I've stuck around for so long. It's just undeniable how much I've benefited from having the platform to discover what career I should pursue, to meeting the right people who help me boost my career growth, and then also the resources that I have been able to gain is really something. Even if I decided to be like, you know what, I don't want to do this thing anymore, honestly, I would be so selfish because I have benefited too much from it, from this beautiful, wonderful platform, club, family. And so, yeah, that's how Toastmasters has contributed or more like transformed my professional career. Back to you.
Thank you so very much, DTM Ethiopia, for that insightful response. Of course, you know, it's bewildering to think that DTM Ethiopia was shaking for the very first time in delivering a speech. Of course, not now, but when she began her Toastmasters journey. But given that she is an eloquent speaker, as we have obviously heard her, it's a bit mystifying. Like, how can she? People tend to think the current stance that we have, but Toastmaster, I've always been saying it's a journey, it's a milestone. We cannot change ourselves, we cannot change our public speaking, this confidence within just a month or two or six. I wanted to reiterate that Toastmaster Ethiopia, she always indicate that it has been 8 years since she started the Toastmasters journey. So that means within that 8 years, she honed her public speaking, she honed her ability, her skills, not just in public speaking, but also in connection, building that connection, cultivating that, and then maintaining that connection as well. And that connection obviously helped her and assisted her in getting recommendation from people, because as she indicated, Toastmaster it encompass a lot of diverse background from a diverse people from a diverse background, such as the marketers, the communicators, the lawyers, doctors, etc. So if you are, for example, a doctor and then you need some sort of an internship or something, there are a lot of doctors there, and then they would have some connection as well. And also, I would like to indicate that Toastmaster is, of course, something that she has mentioned. It's a safe space. I have heard a lot of people talking about in their speech, of course, something we call taboo. For example, go there when they go to their psychiatry, because this is Africa at the end of the day. We don't talk about this. And then also about depression as well. An amazing speech delivered by like this female that I always remember, because we don't tend to talk about depression that much. We are that open because Toastmaster as is a very safe space. There's no judgment. It's all about encouragement, and it's all about putting you up front and the others as well. So there's no competition. If there is, that's a healthy competition as well. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I just to in a nutshell, thank you so very much once more, DTM Ethiopia, and we can go with once again with DTM Emenet Ephrem as well. So DTM Emenet, my second question goes to you as well. So in the TEACON is very well known for its inspiring sessions and also contests. So could you highlight sort of like a memorable? That's why I've asked you earlier how many times have you joined TEACON. So could you highlight a memorable session from the past TEACON events that left sort of a lasting impression on you, and explain how it influenced you? Over to you, Emenet.
I would say, I think 4 years ago, that was the first competition I participated on, table topics. It was quite an interesting experience for me. Was the first time I ever competed in any kind of competition. And Yeah, I passed through the club level, the area level, and then the division level. At that time, Kenya and 4 clubs in Ethiopia, in Kenya, and I think 6 clubs from Ethiopia were under the same division. So I represented Division D at that time. And I started, that experience was, it brings all the experience and the learnings I had in Toastmasters. The question, I don't remember the question, but I remember trying very hard to answer that question. And that whole experience, it's not about just the competition, but it's about the experience. You're not competing against the others. You're also competing against the version of you that you keep trying to improve. So for me, that was the first competition I participated on, and of course I didn't win. Just the whole experience was quite an interesting experience for me, and that specific TEACON was, I think, the best one I've ever had. The team we were constantly calling or chatting on WhatsApp. The team we were working together with came together at that event. Some of them, and then the others we met for the first time. And in Toastmasters, somehow you find some way to connect. That experience is something I will never forget. The memory, the bonding we had was unheard of, I would say. And yeah, Hari Karanja, Gladys, DTM was there. And, I would name many, but, it's just, I'm speechless when I think about that. Even these people are the people who were motivating me to take leadership positions and motivating me to keep my on my Toastmasters journey. Hari Karanja, I remember telling me when I said, no, I cannot take this leadership position. Back then it was the area director position. So he was motivating me, telling me I could do that there is support in Toastmasters in every way I could possibly need. So I met this kind of people. And then Gladys, she is one of the exceptional people I've met. She leads with example. She tries to know everything about what she's doing, and she goes the way and leads the way. So I got a chance to meet these people in person. You can't imagine what the experience would be when you meet this kind of people. So it was quite an interesting event. And also traveling, it's something I love to do, but I don't do that much. I didn't do that much at that time. So in a way, Toastmasters gave me the chance to travel and experience the culture, the friendship with other people, and getting to know other people I've never met or would have met in my day-to-day life. So after that I started traveling because of Toastmasters. So this experience, TEACON experience, is one of the best experiences my entire life. Back to you.
Thank you so very much once more, DTM, for that exhilarating response, DTM Emenet. As we've heard from DTM Emenet's response, I think it's really good for me to maybe indicate perhaps last year she was one of the contestants in a table topics But when we talk about contest, we are talking about 4 types of contest. The first one is humorous speech contest. The second one is table topics that DTM Emenet participated last year. And there's evaluation contest, as well as international speech contest. So these, I mean, in terms of the procedure in a chronological order, as she indicated, there's a club level. You have to win a club level sort of contest. And after a club, you're going to compete with your areas. And then after that, there is a division. Once you finish the division, then you're going to go directly with the districts that is happening at the TEACON, as I've mentioned. So last year it was in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and this year is going to be, as I was mentioning, in the Pride of Africa, Kenya, Mombasa. So I was there. Honestly, you were trying to be very humble, DTM Emenet, but you have delivered a wonderful table topics. Honestly, I remember it fondly as well. So you've delivered very well, but it's good to be humble as well. I think that you have indicated there's always support in Toastmaster. That is absolutely something resonates with me. I think there are always senior people than you. Even if you're a DTM, there are always people who have, in terms of seniority as well. So they are more than willing to assist you in every way possible that you think of. And of course, we tend to push people to become a leader. I think not to talk about myself only, but in Toastmaster leadership, I'm currently a president in the Blue Nile Toastmasters, one of the pioneer Toastmasters in Africa, in the continent. So when I became a president, I would like to indicate that it's I was a leader even before Toastmaster in my career, but the Toastmaster it really pushed me to become this leader. And then I'm leading volunteers. We're all volunteers. It's a different types of leadership style as well. You could not, just because one individual doesn't feel like working, not just write a warning letter. There has to be a different coping mechanism that we have to go through, right? We have to maneuver a different way. So I think for me as well, it taught me a lot, even from a leadership point of view. The career aspect and then the Toastmaster aspect is a bit different. And I am always trying to maneuver through finding ways to sort of like reconcile between the two. And lastly, DTM Emenet mentioned her traveling experience. Of course, last year it was in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. It's just a beautiful, and then of course the cultural exchanges there. Me and my friend, we escaped to Zanzibar. It's beautiful. You have no idea. I went there actually for the 3rd time, but still, Zanzibar is always going to be epic. And this year, of course, it's going to be in Mombasa. When we talk about Mombasa, of course, when we talk about traveling, there's always about after Mombasa, we can see if there's time, of course, depending on the people's schedule. We can go to Kilifi, we can go to Diani, and Nairobi is there. It's Imagine, and of course, and Lamu as well. So when you go to TEACON, in the meantime, you can also, maybe before or after, you can also maneuver through this areas, and then you can see that. So thank you so very much once more, DTM Emenet. I would like to go with my second question for DTM Ethiopia as well. I know she's there, ready to tackle her question. So here you goes my second question for DTM Ethiopia. TEACON offers a unique platform for networking as well as skills development. So could you sort of share a specific example of how participating in TEACON has positively impacted your Toastmasters journey, or as well as, personal growth as well? Over to you, DTM Ethiopia.
All right, thank you very much. Maybe my response would just be to add on the response of DTM Emenet, TEACON. At first, I think we missed the first couple of TEACONs. I believe there was one in Rwanda that I don't think any Ethiopian Toastmaster attended at the time. And the first one we had attended was in Nairobi, Kenya. And we went, I think, as a group of 10 or 15. It was quite exciting, actually. Having a group of Ethiopians traveling all the way there was a really excellent opportunity. So, first of all, I think just getting to meet everybody in person was one of the biggest things. So before in Toastmasters, what you need to remember or understand was there was no online Toastmaster club, right? So online Toastmaster clubs happened after COVID. Before that, we knew there were clubs in Kenya. We knew these people that we used to talk to over WhatsApp and on online platforms, but we had never like connected over video. So we were kind of guessing who the other person was, and network was never able to connect and to create that really lasting bond between us. And now we met in person, and having to meet, meeting a person in person there's nothing that really compares to that, especially not the online experience. Getting to interact with all of those people, all of these amazing professionals, amazing speakers, amazing mothers, husbands, wives, so many different kinds of people from all over the East African community was really an excellent opportunity. We're talking really young people to much more experienced people, as I mentioned earlier, from different sectors, from different industries. And then here we all are in one location, right? So we're talking Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia. That's 5 different countries at least, all coming together to connect. And somehow the people that come to Toastmasters, or the people who end up being Toastmasters, are just the most wonderful people. They're just so friendly. They're always willing to help. So I know that personally, that one, like that in-person connection that I was able to get at TEACON allowed me to forge relationships with Toastmasters, some of which have turned into professional relationships as well. So beyond the Toastmaster platform, we've managed to exchange resources, share work opportunities, even on subsequent travels to Kenya. I've managed to link up with my Kenyan Toastmaster friends. Same with Uganda, and then as you mentioned, when we also traveled to Tanzania, that was also another excellent opportunity. But perhaps one unique experience that I had at TEACON. And if the question is about how maybe the TEACON experience has helped me grow personally, is 1 year, and that was, I think, TEACON 2019, which happened in Kampala, Uganda. I had traveled there as a contestant for the international speech contest at the district level, representing Ethiopia, and I was very excited, as you can imagine. It's both a nerve-wracking plus a very, very exhilarating, exciting experience. So I had traveled there as a contestant and as a nominee for the division director position. And by chance, what happened is I was selected for the division director position in the morning, and then in the afternoon was the international speech contest. And so I was standing outside in the afternoon, standing outside the hall, waiting to go in to deliver my my speech for the international speech contest. Then I was informed that I was disqualified. Yeah. And okay, so this might not be all the positive, rosy experiences of Toastmasters. Sometimes we have to be real and also talk about some experiences maybe that were not, let's say, were not expected. Right. So the issue was that as soon as I became the elect for the division director position, I immediately was disqualified, became ineligible for the contest, right? But understanding that my all the Ethiopian Toastmasters were in the room waiting for me to present, I told them, please don't tell the audience that I have been disqualified. I still want to deliver my speech. And I went up onto the stage. I did deliver my speech, and at the very end, and since I can ignore the time because I was disqualified, at the very end I told the audience, actually I have been disqualified from this contest, but I just wanted to deliver the speech to you because I traveled all the way from Addis to do so. And I got a standing ovation. And although it might not seem like a big deal maybe to others, but that experience for me, just even having to accept maybe the disappointment of being disqualified, understanding that, yes, okay, sometimes things don't go the way they should. But then I went up onto the stage and vulnerably shared my experience with my Toastmaster people. And obviously, like, they're just so wonderful. They, gave me a standing ovation. And that was a testament to the support, the idea of failing. It's okay to sometimes not succeed. It's okay sometimes to fail. It's okay that sometimes things don't go the way you expect, even on an international stage. I think if it was earlier or in another opportunity or another conference that I had attended, if that happened to me, I don't know. I don't know how I would have processed that, honestly speaking. But this experience taught me to be resilient, taught me to understand that, yes, things don't go the way that they should sometimes, but it's for the better, because for the year after that, I served as the division director for my country. So that was also a very humbling experience. So just that unique, I whenever I tell people, I tell them, I got disqualified, but then I always have this beautiful, but I learned so much from that experience. And let me tell you, to this day, I get messages from the Toastmaster East African community about that speech, literally about that. And they remember, they encourage me, and they made me remember that I have this whole community in the whole of East Africa rooting for me. And that's always an encouraging thing. And TEACON gave me that. TEACON gave me that, and I'll never forget it. And I'm always grateful for it. And I'm always looking for these kinds of like unique experiences every time I attend TEACON, and I expect nothing less on this TEACON as well in Mombasa, Kenya. Back to you.
Thank you so very much, DTM, for that lovely response as well. I think it's very memorable. It's going to be memorable for our audience as well. And I'm glad you've shared this experience, because it's not, it's not always like unicorn and rainbows as well. We have to share some of the, disappointing moments that we have. But as you mentioned, there's always a but, so that you can incorporate and then say or indicate your lovely moments over there as well. I think one thing that I also remember about I actually participated for the very first time last year in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, the TEACON. So I think when you mentioned that meeting with everyone that you know from WhatsApp, from Zoom, as well as other platforms, other online platforms, in person, that's like really uplifting, because we don't think, or we wouldn't think that we're able to meet those people in person, but here we are, there we are, and then we're meeting everyone as well. I think the first time that I've participated in Dar es Salaam, especially, I was a bit anxious. It was during the evening time. I was a bit anxious because I don't know anyone over there, because I was participating for the very first time. So I was thinking like, how does that work? And I do have like this anxiety of participating with a bunch of people, but I think I for but the very first moment when I entered the room, everyone was greeting me well. So I was thinking like, this is Toastmaster Jonas. What are you thinking? Of course, everyone is going to greet you. Of course, everyone is going to make you feel welcome, because that's the spirit of Toastmasters. And when you come to our club, for example, we are very well known for our warm welcome, making everyone feel like they're at home, honestly, not for the very first time. Even if that you are coming in our club, alone, not with with a support, with a plus one, and etc., we still make you feel like you are valued over there, even as a first time as well there as well. So when I went in the TEACON Dar es Salaam, like the moment I stepped foot, I was a bit anxious, because I did not know people other than from those individuals, or those Toastmasters heading from Ethiopia. But everyone really showed me a welcoming and a welcoming and a beautiful smile as well. So that is one thing. So there's a friendship and a warmth as well. So maybe like this is to I think given that we have a couple of minutes, maybe like let me just add two final questions each that would be responded like within 3 minutes each as well, if possible. So I'll go with the DTM Ephrem within 3 minutes. So once again, I would like to indicate that of course, DTM Emenet became a DTM recently. So I would like to congratulate her on achieving the distinguished Toastmasters. And I think reflecting on your journey, what advice would you offer to new Toastmasters who aspire to reach this pinnacle of achievement? And how do you envision your new role as a DTM, impacting your involvement in TEACON as well as in Toastmasters? DTM Emenet, over to you.
Okay, you might hear some background noise. My son has woken up, but I'll just try to talk. So I think the best lesson I learned in my DTM journey is to finish something you have started. In Toastmasters, the journey is not easy. It's not short. So you really have to persist to finish what you have started. There are many Toastmasters who come who come to sessions and then don't continue, and they just stop their journey while they have good potential. So persisting, we have social life, professional life, and we have to juggle so many things, and sometimes the Toastmasters journey will fall between the cracks. So it's about that determination to finish what you have started. Your pace might not be as fast as you might have hoped, but it's just as long as you keep moving, it's okay. You just have to finish what you have started. In order to finish the DTM and achieve the DTM, you have to serve at different levels. You have to deliver so many speeches. It's not easy with our day-to-day activities, but nothing is easy. And when you finish, it's not just about getting the title, but it's about finishing your journey, accomplishing what you started at the beginning. So for me, finish what you have started. And then this journey, you get to develop yourself, and some of their learnings, even majority of their learnings, you take professionally. I got to MC events, work events, and that's because the experience I get from Toastmasters. There are some presentations I have to give suddenly with, not you don't have time to prepare always. So, the table topics especially, and organizing events at club level and up to the division level, that has prepared me to take any kind of challenge related to work or personal life. So this is the learning I got. And then how do I plan to continue after achieving the DTM? I want to give to the Toastmaster community as much as possible. I'm currently the president of LIP Toastmasters. So it's like starting over, the serving at the club level. And, now I would say I want to give more. I want to coach more people. I was inspired by other members. So I hope I would be an inspiration for others, to show them where they can go, how far they can go, the amazing things they can do in Toastmasters, and the amazing friendships they can get through Toastmasters. Back to you.
Thank you so much once more, DTM Mnet. Of course, and I would like to quote you. It's not about getting the title, but accomplishing your journey. That's what DTM means. Of course, everyone will aspire to become a DTM, but it shouldn't just be to acquire the title, but also, like, as I was mentioning earlier, it's all about a milestone, and then achieving and being successful in your journey. So Toastmaster is DTM is not just about getting your title, but also accomplishing your journey. And then to accomplish your journey, you have reiterated that you need to be consistent in what you've started, and you need to be persistent. You need to be resilient as well. And I am so glad for you to be coming and achieving this goal, because you are an inspiring woman, not just to honestly, personally, to me, for everyone as well. So you have obviously been inspiring to everyone. I We can hear from the background earlier that your son got up, and as you've indicated as well, women, of course, we this is why we wanted to bring, of course, we wanted to liaise it with the March 8th that we recently celebrated. So women, when we think about women, we think about like our friends, our sisters, brother, our I was about to say brother. What am I going with this? Our sisters, our mothers, our friends, best friends, and etc. So you guys do it all. Imagine me, I'm just here by myself, but you having your baby as well. That's really huge responsibility, and you are doing it all. Um, Lastly, I would like to go with DTM Ethiopies once again with 3 minutes. Diversity and inclusion are integral values within Toastmaster. How do you believe that TEACON contributes to fostering a more inclusive environment for all members, particularly women and underrepresented groups? Over to you.
Thank you, Jonas. It's funny. Toastmasters is the only place that I am not reminded that I am a woman. I don't think it's never been a notable fact that I am a woman in Toastmasters. Whereas, let's say, for example, in my workplace, I am counted as one of the female employees because they are working towards creating a gender balanced staff. And so I'm constantly reminded of that I am a woman and I'm feeling this leadership position as a woman. And it's always like this underlining fact that follows us most places that we go. And the one place I've never felt that is Toastmasters. And I say that in the most positive sense. Because really, when you come there, it's not that you're a male, it's not that you're a female, it's just that you're a person who wants to improve themselves. Professionally, personally, you're seeking that personal development. So it's never been like, even when I was to take on a leadership position, it was maybe that I was young, I guess, but the gender component to it was never like a glaring fact. And I think it's a testament that shows that Toastmaster is, I think, by far one of the most inclusive and most diverse environments to exist, honestly, for personal and professional development. Right? It only becomes important, the fact that you're a female or a male, if you want it to be important. If there's a specific reason that maybe you want it to be, but other than that, it's already such an open and welcoming environment for anybody. It's literally like we have members who are young graduates, high school graduates, who are 18 years old, who were actually attending the club since they were 17, waiting to join. It's not that they were a female or a male. They were young and eager to join and excel and improve themselves. We have members who are late in some who have retired, imagine 60, 65 years old, who have come still with the idea of professional development. So I think we have this underlining principle and value within Toastmasters, is that you can be anybody coming from anywhere. It doesn't matter how young, how quote unquote old, what profession, what area you come from, and even what gender you are. It really doesn't matter in the Toastmaster space. And that's why it actually makes it the most diverse and the most inclusive environment that anybody can have the pleasure to participate in. Back to you.
I completely agree with DTM Ethiopia. Of course, Toastmaster is the most diverse as well as inclusive environment for all of us. And I think when you mentioned that, it's a bit ironic. Of course, this is even could be the very first time asking you about like the womanhood and how it feels to be incorporated in the Toastmasters community. But you are very right. I remember last time when we were about to in the Blue Nile Toastmaster, when we were about to what do you call it, celebrate our 65th anniversary of officially being launched. I was very keen in terms of like maintaining the gender balance. This is something that I have acquired, of course, from my professional environment, and I'm sure like we're always like that as well. But people were like, this isn't like professional work or like the career one. In Toastmaster, we can find like if we wanted some DTM, we can have a DTM in female perspective as well. If we wanted a great speaker, a great mentor, as we find a lot of male, we can find a lot of women as well. But we normally don't talk about it, which is even good as well, because everyone is out there as well. The level is, it's always balanced somehow. I think in career, we're always persistent when it comes to gender balance. It's because like to uplift the woman. But here in Toastmaster, we don't necessarily have to. That's why I think when you mentioned DTM Ethiopia, this is the very first time even, when you think about it, it's because everyone is, the female are like leaders. So I think this would definitely show you that the Toastmaster, our female colleagues, I should say, they are very more active, even equally as men as well. So I think that is absolutely why. And I believe I have finished my question that I had it for you. So guests and our audience, I think in our questions we have seen the guests, their experience and in Toastmasters. We DTM Emenet talked about the power of delegation, the power of prioritization, as well as not to be afraid of starting from a scratch. And obviously Toastmaster, the DTM Ethiopia talked about her connection in terms of the what she got in Toastmaster, as well as Toastmaster was her, it led her to her profession where she is now, which is in communication and public relation. And she talked about the power of like communication and how Toastmaster is a supporting environment in general. DTM Emenet once more talked about her experience in TEACON as a contestant in table topics, that every in Toastmaster, it's a very supportive environment, as well as TEACON last year in Dar es Salaam, and her experience in traveling. And once more, DTM Ethiopia talked about the fact that she met with everyone that she connected with in via Zoom or other online platforms, of those individuals from all the East African region. And also like how it was very warm and friendly environments participating in TEACON as well. So guys, I believe what we had was really insightful. I am certain that we have learned so much from these amazing individuals, these amazing women, and we can incorporate what they have mentioned in our day-to-day activity, as well as in our Toastmaster endeavor. Before I finish, I would like to reiterate once more that this year, the TEACON is happening at the Pride of Africa in Kenya. And then the beautiful, for those of you who have been in Mombasa, you can imagine how beautiful it is. You can back me up. The beautiful city of Mombasa, from the 9th to 11th of May at the Pride in Paradise Hotel. You have been a wonderful guest. Before I finish, I would like to thank the TCAST coordinator, as well as our SA currently, Kendi Mwabila. I really wanted to thank you for inviting us to deliver this noble work, as well as inviting this two amazing DTMs as well. Thank you so very much, and I hope you would have a lovely day ahead. Have a great one. Bye.